Hi there everyone, it is currently going into the 12th of March 2013 and what you see on your screen here is actually the microwave imagery of Cyclone Sandra, now severe tropical cyclone, a category 3 according to the Fiji Meteorological Agency, and you can see this very well-defined eye wall. It's starting to fall apart a little bit near the end of the frame. Two reasons, going through an eye wall replacement cycle, but also look at those lighter areas of blue, starting to see that drier entrainment, and that is going to allow the system to continue to weaken actually over the next several days. Don't expect significant intensifications at all from this. As it continues to push down here towards the south, this is just showing the visible imagery from earlier on today, and you can actually see some of this shear and that dry air wrapping around it. See all these clear clouds off towards the north, or excuse me, clear areas on the satellite picture. You can't really have clear clouds, but that's wrapping into it, and that's causing it to weaken. And also down here towards the south, that shear that's pulling off here, that's what's indicated here. And also here, actually upwards of 30 to 40 knots of wind shear over top of New Caledonia. So the closer it gets to the island, the more I expect it to weaken, not just due to the shear, but also that drier entrainment. And that's the saving grace, because Noumea down here towards the south, as it weakens, really the bulk of the convection, if we go back to the MMIC, is already pushing towards the west. And that is going to leave the bulk of the rain showers and thunderstorms just offshore with the dry air coming off here. But still in the northern portions of New Caledonia, you're actually under orange alert at this time for a cyclone watch. You could possibly see about 100km/h winds. Not saying that it's not going to be damaging, but the worst of the storm looks like it's going to stay offshore. About 50km/h winds possibly could be seen there into Noumea, farther there towards the south. And actually, if we take a look at the European model, very high resolution model, so we do have some good trust with this actually in the near term, especially with tropical systems. It usually does a pretty good job. You can see this moving down there towards the south. Already those winds coming onshore from the east, and that's the big thing. Here, if we scroll back a little bit there, going through your Monday, you're going to have these winds coming onshore on the eastern portions of the island, the northeastern, Noumea down here towards the south. These are actually where you possibly could see a storm surge. Nothing strong, definitely the very rough waves due to that fetch area, but look at this, the highest winds still remain offshore. If we continue to push ahead here, this is going into your Tuesday afternoon off there. You're still going to be seeing these gusty winds, but I mean, take a look at this. If you look closely, not really picking up winds at all. Less than 10 knots there into Noumea. Then it pushes down. Still rains rather light across this area. I mean, the storm's just offshore. You're going to know it's there due to the cloud cover and due to the absolutely horrendous waves possibly coming ashore. But, I mean, definitely possibly into the clear here as it pushes off and then down there towards the south. And I think this is really when the strongest winds will start to kick in. Those possible wind gusts up to 50km/h is when it pushes off there towards the southwest of the city, because that's when the winds will start wrapping around it and pushing onshore and coming in from the west of vice the east, and you won't be on the lee side of the island anymore. And eventually here, though, going into Thursday afternoon, it pushes down there towards the south. So really the biggest threat is towards the north as this starts to approach the island. Also at the same time, you're going to be having these rain showers starting to move onshore. But once again, that dry air entrainment, you can see it here. Actually, if we put the relative humidity around the storm system with the European model again, you see that pushing down there towards the south, and that is going to keep the storm system relatively weaker than what it could be if we didn't have the dry air, and also this increase in vertical wind shear and just it staying offshore of the island. So with that said, here's the official track from the Fiji Meteorological Agency. You can see those tropical storm force winds actually extending offshore, the bulk of the winds offshore. Still, there's the cone of air. It does push over northern portions of New Caledonia, and I wouldn't let my guard yet down here because it still could drift a little bit farther towards the east if we have this ridge a little bit farther there towards the west, push it along. But at this time, such near term, it looks like it should stay offshore, and really the worst is going to miss the island. And as far as Australia, farther there towards the west, I know that a couple days ago, a few of the models were picking up on this storm system moving there. Not going to happen. Too much of the troughing down towards the south to pull it along. If I was in Australia, actually, the next system I would want to watch is there into the Gulf of Carpentaria, where there's a lot of moisture, a lot of cloud cover. The MJO is pulsing over the area right now, not just here, but the entire Coral Sea and the equatorial regions. I mean, monsoonal moisture galore across this region. So that is going to contribute to the possible development of a tropical system. If we scroll ahead, actually, with the European model here, you can see it push across the peninsula, pushing out there towards the east, just off the coast of Cairns. And really, there is a risk of a possible tropical development there. At the very least, if it actually lingers a little bit farther towards the west, it's going to push moisture on shore. I'm not saying at the epic scale Oswald is shown here, but there's still the risk. GFS at the same time picking up on a weak disturbance. So something to watch throughout the next several days. Actually, if you check out Cyclone Chasers, they just have really in-depth 20-minute discussion on both of these storms. And also, I know that we have the viewers across the northwestern Pacific having that let out. If you actually click the annotation on the screen, we do have our latest video update for this region, really concentrating on that yellow sand. Speaking of yellow sand, there's another annotation on the screen about the yellow sand, the latest video. And also, it is going into March 12th, but I cannot go without saying the March 11th, and I put a whole video out on that. So there is our latest 3 videos. Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay safe out there. I hope you have a great day.